Hey guys, so this week I want to talk about eating for health and why you've probably heard a lot of really conflicting information out there as to what you can eat to lose fat. And you'll hear some people say that low carb is better, or high carb is better, or you can't eat sugar, or you can't eat this, or whatever. And here's the thing. Essentially, you can lose fat eating anything. I could put you on a chocolate chip diet, and you would probably lose weight. If the intake was right. That's sort of the principle behind the Weight Watchers program and other things like that, because they essentially tell you that you can eat whatever you want as long as the quantities are right so that your calorie intake is low enough so that you still burn fat. And I've talked a little bit about calorie restrictive diets and why they're not my favorite and why I don't think that, they're the best way to do this. And so the thing is you need to remember that there are also other factors to take into consideration than fat loss. Is fat loss important? Yes, absolutely. But we're also eating for health. And eating for health is something that needs to be considered when you're talking about processed foods, wheat products, and all that other stuff. Because although you might be able to lose fat eating, a cookie every day, that's fine. But what else is in that cookie? I mean, if it's something that you made yourself and it's gluten free or has only great ingredients in it, then sure, go for it. But the reality is, most people are talking about things like Pop Tarts or cereal or whatever. And although you might be able to lose fat while eating those things, it's very important to remember that there are a lot of ingredients in there that affect your health in other ways. There are additives, chemicals, preservatives, all sorts of nasty shit that you don't really need to be ingesting on a regular basis. I mean, I think if you look at the health of the population, it's pretty evident that there is something else going on other than just weight. You have people who are relatively skinny, or you might have heard the term skinny fat before, which means that although they're small, they have a relatively high body fat percentage. And the reason is that people are eating crap. So can you be skinny and still eat junk? Yes, most definitely. Can you be healthy and still eat junk? No, I don't think that those two things go hand in hand. I think that a lot of the ingredients in processed foods are doing more than we know that they're doing. And I think most of them haven't been researched well enough to really know exactly what they do to our bodies, and especially when it comes to things like artificial sweeteners and preservatives or whatever. In North America, we have some of the laxest regulations as far as ingredients in our foods go. I mean, you see things like propylene glycol, a regular ingredient on processed food lists, and that's something they use to winterize RVs. That's RV antifreeze. And you'll see that, on a regular basis if you pick up things off your grocery store shelf. So I think that that's an important thing to consider. And I think that if you are only eating for aesthetics, you're missing the point. Your objective here should be, yeah, do I want to look great? Yes, but your objective should also be that you want to live a long, healthy life. And I don't think eating foods like that on a regular basis contribute to living a long, healthy life. I think that you can eat them occasionally as treats, most definitely. There's nothing in this world that I think you should cut out of your diet completely. But I think suggesting to people that they should be able to eat them on a daily basis with no consequences is ridiculous. Because although their consequences might not be reflected on the scale, well, they're sure as fuck going to be reflected when they're in the hospital, 20, 30, 40 years from now with cancer or some other, disease of civilization. And I say of civilization because when you look in, to tribal communities and communities who don't eat the way that we do, they don't have near the amount of diseases that we have, especially when it comes to things like cancer, Alzheimer's. All of these other things seem to be, exclusively limited to populations that eat like we do, and then we wonder where it's coming from. And I mean, the answer is clear: it's coming from our food. So I guess, in summary, can you eat Pop Tarts every day? Yeah, you sure can. Can you lose weight while eating Pop Tarts every day? Yes, absolutely. But, is that really going to matter 20 years from now when you're growing a tumor the size of a softball? yeah, it's gonna matter then. You know what I mean? So it might not matter now, and you might be able to get away with it, but in the long term, you need to be eating for health, and eating for health includes being conscious of ingredients that are toxic and that could potentially cause you problems down the road. So I just wanted to clear that up, and something that I want everybody to keep in mind when they're making their food choices. Take care.